G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Here we go with our quick recap of the AFL from last week, round 13, and then we'll do our tips for round 14. So, please like and subscribe. Also, make sure you go over to Old Man Gaming or Flashgrow. Make sure you show him some love. Go over looking at his wonderful content and like and subscribe over there. So last week we had the Swannies up against St Kilda. Um, Bit of a shock for me. I didn't think St Kilda were going that great. I would have thought that Swans would win at the SCG, but St Kilda did a good job. King kicked a couple and just got a hold of the Swans. Swans aren't travelling all that well at the moment. They're a young team, but we'll see how they go in the future. Then Port Adelaide smashed Bulldogs. Bulldogs are in a bit of a world of hurt at the moment as well. They should be playing better than what they are. They don't want for anything at the Bulldogs. They've got a wonderful midfield. They've got a wonderful back line. They've got a pretty decent forward line. They're just not putting any score on the board. Again, Port, anyone who kicks over 100 points gets a high rating for me. My team, the Lions, had a disappointing game against the Hawks after the bye. Sometimes you just have these games, and maybe it's a good thing for the Lions to just get a bit of a wake-up call that you just can't take your foot off the pedal at any point. But well done to the Hawks. They're playing really well. Got some really nice little players. Adelaide Crows that absolutely smashed the Eagles. So I don't know where the Eagles are going. They're 3 years away, I think. But just shows you a big turnaround for the Crows to put that sort of percentage onto a team. But like I said, you got to beat West Coast by at least 10 goals to be in a top tier. But I don't what it takes. Was it 250 or 300? What was it? 250, I think it was, and kicked 10. So that helps when you get 60 points just out of text. So great effort by the Crows. Richmond had a great game against Fremantle, stuck it out right to the end, and then put Fremantle away. So just shows you that Richmond aren't all that far away. They're building. So it'd be interesting to see how they go this week. North couldn't do it against GWS. I thought this might have been a good chance for North down at Blundstone, but they just lack a bit of talent, and well, they've got some talent, but they just lack it up all the way over the field. Carlton are hopeless. I don't even know why I picked Carlton. I think I'm going to put them into the Fremantle bin. We're not going to pick them again. Essendon, is, like I said last week, they're sneaky. They're actually playing quite well. I think they're top one team for scoring from defensive 50 or something stupid like that. But they're also the worst team for letting in goals from defensive 50. So they're a bit sneaky, Essendon, but they're going along all right. And they're probably going to play finals this year, which should be good. And then Melbourne had a good win against Collingwood, a gutsy win. I was expecting that to happen. Melbourne should have won by 4 or 5 goals with inaccurate kicking. Collingwood scared with two goals in the last 2 minutes, as they always do. But if you take 12 points off that, that's 50 points in a game of football. That's not good enough. And you can see that Collingwood. I know they're on top of the ladder, but they're not that good. They're not better. They're not super better than every other team. There's 3 or 4 teams that are just as good as Collingwood, and if they don't play well on their day, they'll get beat. And Melbourne just put them back in their place. But a little bit, I think that's a good thing for Collingwood. Wake them up a bit and say, "Here, hang on. We've had a bit of a fairy tale here for the last couple of 12 months." But maybe we need to just keep working harder. So we go to the ladder. We've got Collingwood and Port on the same points now, 2 games ahead of Melbourne, 3 games ahead of the Lions and St Kilda, and Essendon. Oh no, because Essendon's played the extra game. Then Adelaide sort of cementing themselves into the top 8, Western Bulldogs. Geelong have dropped off again. They're back to 6 and 6. Freo are catching up with them, and the Suns have really put themselves into contention. Same with Richmond. So we're back to a point where we've got maybe 4 teams trying to get back into the 8 again, which is fantastic. It just shows you how close the league is. But anyway, there's a wrap up. Let's go to our tips for round 14. Starting off with an absolute fantastic game tomorrow night. So we've got the Power against the Cats at Adelaide Oval. Geelong have got 3 players back. They've got Tui back, Danger, and maybe someone else. Port are flying at the moment. It's at home. It's still going to be a bit of a warning game for Port because you can never write off Geelong. I don't care who they've got. You can never write them off. So if they get on the roll, they can be devastating. So warning game for Port. I'm going to go the upset. I'm going to go Geelong again, just to temper the mood. So I'm going to go Geelong by 13 points and to come up with a bit of an upset at Adelaide. We got my team, Lions against the Swannies at the Gabba. So you just got to go the Lions at the Gabba. They've only lost 1 game in the last 400 years. Swannies are not travelling so well. If the Swans can beat the Lions this week, well then you can write the Lions off. So that's how important it is for the Lions. So warning game for the Lions as well. Then we go on the Saturday, we go to Giant Stadium where we've got GWS against Fremantle. Warning game for both teams here. So whether Fremantle can bounce back after a pretty poor performance last week against GWS. Giant Stadium is always about the weather, and if it's going to rain or whatever, but Toby Green can just be the difference. And I've never seen a guy win so many games off his own boot. I reckon he's won about 50 games for the GWS just out of his personal brilliance. So he's one of the best players in the league and has been for the last 5 years. But I'm going to go Freo. I'm going to go Freo here to beat GWS at home. I think Fremantle, when they're on, they're on. If they're not on, they're not on. And I know that I said I'm never ever going to back them ever again, but it is against the Giants. So let's go a couple more upsets. So we're going to go Fremantle. We're going to go another upset here. Richmond against St Kilda. I'm going to go Richmond. I think they might fire up after they found out that one of their players stole $300,000 or some shit like that. Anyway, I don't rate St Kilda. I don't think they're good enough. So this might be a sneaky opportunity for Richmond to come get back into the 8. And they're playing well. Shea Bolton's playing well. It's Cotchin's 300th game, so if they don't fire up for that, for their captain and their 3 or 4 time premiership player, 300 games is a big milestone. If they don't fire up for Cotch, well, then they're never going to win a game. And then we got the MCG, Carlton against the Suns, and they've got Carlton as favourites. Well, good luck with that. I'm going the Suns because Carlton are actually playing all right. They just can't. They're just not can't kick a goal. That's the biggest problem. But they've once you get this attitude into your football club, and there might be something else behind it. There might be something lurking in the locker room. So let's go. I'm going to go all upsets this week. Let's go the Suns to beat Carlton on the Sunday. And then our last game of the round, we've got North Melbourne against the Bulldogs. It's at Marvel Stadium. So I can't go and upset here. North Melbourne, I want them to win, but I can't pick them against the Bulldogs. Bulldogs should, just got too much talent. They should beat North Melbourne in that one. So there we go. So we've gone Geelong, Brisbane, Fremantle, Richmond, Suns and Doggies. Like always, I'll put Flash Crow's tips underneath. Good luck with your team. Hope you have a good weekend. We're up to round 14. There's only 10 more weeks to go. Can you believe that, before we start finals? So hopefully your team wins. Please like and subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one. See you then.